Hello and welcome to the Health by Harry channel. Today we're going to be looking at dropping body fat and how we can do this easily. This is something that can be tough if you haven't done your research, and it can be an uphill battle if you have no idea what you're doing. However, considering that you're watching this video means to me that you're probably going to get to that goal that you've been looking for at some point soon. In this video we're going to be looking at food choices and snack habits. We're going to be looking at habits that we can put in place throughout your day to get your step count up. And at the end, I'm actually going to show you how we can work out that calorie deficit that we're all looking for. The first thing I want to cover off on is three big things in the fitness industry that are myths, are things that are asked a lot of the time. I get asked them on my Instagram quite a lot. I see it in like when people fill in an application form with me as well. So these three things are things that just aren't true. Firstly, you do not need to train every day of the week. It's just not necessary. There are people that do train every day, and it suits them, and typically what you'll see is that they're people that are a bit more experienced in their fitness journey. Secondly, you do not need to be doing hours of cardio every day. You see these people in the gym, typically people that have been taught nonsense in the fitness industry over the last kind of 20-30 years that cardio is the way to go. It's the only way that you're going to see that body fat drop off. Please don't do this. It's a waste of time and you're probably not going to enjoy it that much. And thirdly, you do not need to starve yourself. We want to be eating a balanced diet that's going to help you to move towards your goals, but do so in a way where you're going to actually feel full, satiated, which is, looking at helping you to feel that fullness, and then actually have energy throughout the day at the same time. Okay, so elephant in the room, first of all, you do need to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. This is where our bodies are consuming less calories than we are burning. So let's say your body burns 2,000 calories every single day. If we were to eat 1,999 calories, technically that is a deficit, but we probably want to be aiming for something a little bit higher than this. Okay, first section we're going to look at our food choices. We're going to look at some things that are going to help you to stay in that deficit, but also some things that are going to hinder you when you're trying to make those choices. So volume of food is always going to win, in my opinion. When we're looking at volume, we're trying to look at the foods that are going to fill us up for not too many calories. Let's say your current lunch is a tuna sandwich. There's nothing wrong with putting a side salad with that. This could be as simple as throwing together some lettuce, cucumber, peppers, onions, sweet corn. Just put it all into a big bowl and have that with your sandwich. Vegetables are going to be your main thing that's going to help you to provide you with that volume for a low amount of calories. They're massively nutritionally dense and they're going to have a lot of fiber in them, which is going to help you to feel satiated. So this is going to help to fill you up. Imagine two things here. So you've got a tablespoon of peanut butter or you've got a cup of peas. They're around a similar amount of calories. However, which one do you think is going to fill you up for longer? The peas are probably going to do a pretty good job of it. They're going to be voluminous in your stomach. So what we want to be looking at is trying to include some sort of vegetables or fruit with every single meal of the day. So next up, we want to think about the protein source that we're using for each meal of the day. The reason I say this is because protein is going to be the thing that's going to be the most satiating of the three macronutrients out of your protein, carbohydrates, and fats. You want to just be looking at each day and going, right, where can I get some sort of protein in breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Breakfast, my top options are going to be Greek yogurt, eggs, and whey protein. Then lunch, you're going to be looking at something such as chicken, turkey, beef, salmon, or tuna, just as some examples for you. Then dinner is going to be a repeat of what you had for lunch. Could be a different type, but it means that you're able to get some variation in there. I gave you 5 different choices there, so you should be able to pick one for lunch and one for dinner. Now that we've looked at our vegetables and our protein, we want to be thinking about how can we actually utilize this to make sure that we are feeling full in those meals. So what I go through with my clients all the time is looking at the plate diet. So this thing's amazing. What we're going to be looking at here is filling up a half of your plate with vegetables or fruit, depending on the time of day. So at breakfast, most people aren't going to be eating half a plate of vegetables. They're going to be eating fruit, okay? So we're filling half the plate with vegetables or fruit, and then a quarter of the plate is going to be coming from protein. So if you think about something like a chicken breast, that's going to fill up a quarter of that plate. Now you'll think, right, I've got a quarter of the plate left. What do I do with that? We now look at our carbohydrates. So we look at bread, oats, pasta, rice, potatoes. These are our main sources of carbohydrates we want to be filling in that plate with. When you're next buying your groceries, do this and see how much more full you feel than having foods that you're trying to just stick within your calories. So another thing that I think a lot of people get wrong here is their snacking. So I think there's a big misconception with snacking, thinking that you have to avoid it altogether if you're dieting. But I think what we want to do instead is build the snacks into your day. My go-tos in the mid-morning or mid-afternoon is going to be a protein yogurt or some fruit or some nuts. All of these are going to really help to fill you up in that gap between your main meals. Lastly, the other option you could do is actually just eat something that you enjoy. It could be a Kit Kat, it could be a bar of chocolate, it could be whatever you want. The thing that you have to remember here is it might not actually fill you up as much. Now you've got this toss up between something that's going to help you to feel satiated, so feel full, or on the other side, you have your sweet treat, you have that satisfaction for a few minutes, and then you're kind of hungry again afterwards. So you have to make that call yourself. And finally on the nutrition, we have the post-dinner snack. Now, I don't know about you, but after dinner, I've got such a sweet tooth that all I want to do is eat something sweet. So we've got 3 options I'm going to give you here. Number 1 is going to be don't eat anything. Hold off. Don't have anything till the morning. For me, this doesn't work too well. I'm always craving something. Then you've got option 2, which is a square of dark chocolate. Super simple, it's very bitter as well, and most people having that one square is going to be enough because it's so bitter. Unlike milk chocolate where you want to go back for more and more and more because it's so much sugar in it, with the dark chocolate, it's so bitter that you normally want 1 piece and then you're happy to leave it there. Now with this one, you have to think about how many calories you've actually got left for the day. For me, I've normally got quite a lot of calories left over because I'm doing a lot of exercise at the moment. But in this bowl, you can vary it however you want to. So it could be lower calorie, could be higher. So what you're gonna do is get 100 to 200 grams of Greek yogurt. Now we're gonna get about half a cup of frozen berries. With these frozen berries, you're gonna put them in the microwave for 30 seconds. Pour this on top of the Greek yogurt, and it's gonna be like a Muller corner, if you know what that is. Amazing yogurt. Now we're gonna crumble on top a piece of dark chocolate, and then chop up an apple and have that on top as well. You eat that as a snack post dinner. You could have it in the afternoon or the morning, whenever you want. I'm pretty confident that you're gonna be quite full for the next few hours. So give it a go and let me know how you get on with that one. Okay, next up we have our steps tactic. Hitting a steps target is an easy way to improve our TDEE, our total daily energy expenditure. Doing this is gonna help to increase the amount of calories we're burning in a day, therefore putting us into that deficit more easily. The more you can focus on when in the day you're going to get those steps in is the most important thing. Let's say you're working a 9 to 5 job. What we want to think about is 30 minutes of walking first thing in the morning. That's going to get you about 4,000 steps. Then we're going to go for a 20-minute walk at lunch. Now we're looking at 2,500 steps. So now we're on 6,500 for the day, just from our actual walks. And then there are going to be some excess steps from you walking around the house, going to the toilet, all these little things that happen in the day. Let's call that another 1,000. So now we're up to 7,500 for the day. Now, if you go for one more 20-minute walk in the evening, you've now reached 10,000 steps. This isn't any magic number, but it's just gonna help you to stay consistent at a nice rounded out number that's gonna be keeping you quite active and keeping that calorie burn nice and high. Now, personally, I'd say the worst thing you can do is leave all your steps until the evening. It becomes a massively overwhelming task, and more often than not, you don't get it done. Okay, finally, we're gonna talk about how we're actually gonna get you into that deficit. First up, we need to find out how much we should be eating. So what we need to do is head to the website tdeecalculator.net. So if we look at this for someone that's my height, my weight, 10,000 steps a day on average, training 6 days a week, my deficit would be roughly around 2,700 calories. So for me, that's where I'd be in that deficit. Maintenance is around 3,200 to 3,500 depending on the training day. But that shows me that I need to be making sure that I'm eating below that by quite a substantial amount in order to be in that place where I'm going to be dropping body fat. Obviously, this is completely subjective to the individual, so go on the website and do it yourself. Now, if we try not to use what you see, the government recommended daily amounts that are 1,500 calories for a female and 2,000 calories for a male, and these aren't even looking at a deficit, this is just like recommended maintenance calories. Imagine if I was to look at that 2,000 calories and then go, I need to be in a deficit under that, so I'm gonna eat 1,500 calories. I would be so low on energy, I'd be miserable, I'd be not a nice person to be around, and I probably wouldn't be able to get much done. And this is why it's so important to find out the deficit that works best for you, and that's based on your stats, your body weight, your height, the amount you're moving in a day. All of these things are so important, so work it out for yourself. So hopefully this video has been helpful. I know that there are so many things out there to watch about weight loss, but what I'm trying to tell you is it doesn't need to be as complicated as you think it does. Just look at your total daily energy expenditure, look at trying to increase that, look at controlling the portion sizing we've got in those meals, looking at protein and vegetables as the main things, and then put your stats into a calculator and work out exactly how much you need to eat. Now, the hard part is sticking to it. As usual, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's so helpful for me to be able to carry on producing these videos for you on fat loss, on running technique, on gear that you need for your running. All these things are areas that I like to go deep diving into. So help me out, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be there for the next video.